Okay, today we're looking at another new attack type, and so this is the new healer hybrid Lavaloon. So what I'm going to do, let's have a look at the base characteristics that make this work, and then we'll look through the sort of various bits of the raid. So firstly, in terms of the base characteristics, you can see the queen here. The queen is not really centered, and if you manage to get your queen into this pocket or potentially this pocket, you'd find that the queen would be in excess of the queen and could be taken out. So, so the first thing in terms of making this raid a base exposed to this type of raid is having the queen accessible from one of the outer pockets. The second thing here is, if you look at the base, it's done this thing which I think bases are going to do less and less now, which is they spread out the outer buildings around to make sure the loons have to travel as far as possible to get into the middle of the base. Now, this raid in and of itself might put an end to that strategy. I think there's other reasons why it's not a good idea to do that, but I think because I think that doing this makes the hybrids of all sorts a lot easier. So you're best to run a more compressed base. But in particular, this attack means the queen, if say you look along this side, so the queen can skirt along a lot of this side here without suffering a lot of damage, and with a bit of healing can almost clear the whole side. And if you have, the other thing you should look at here is a lot of the damage is fairly deep and doesn't extend to outside the wall. So look at the DPS along this side. So say the queen's here, it's under 100, so 99 plus 11, so 110 points of damage. Over here, there'll be a period where it's under 200 points of damage, but once it's taken out the canal, it'll be under just the 99 points of damage. So for a lot of this side, even when the king is in range of the defences, it's under, in the order of 100 points of damage, 110 points of damage, and so it's able to clear this side really easily with just a bit of healing. And then what they do is they pop the pocket, come in, kill the queen, kill an AD. Also kill a queen. They've killed this AD probably on the way through. Pop the pocket, kill this AD, and you've got two ADs down to the queen, and all you've used is your heroes. In fact, you'll see in this raid the queen's not even down at that stage. So I think this raid type has got limited application because I think it's really easy to fix in terms of defense adjustments. What we're going to see is we're going to see people pull in all their outer buildings. We're going to see people focus a lot more on the DPS through the base, and we're going to see people make their queen less accessible. And so I can't see necessarily a future for this as a long-term 3-star strategy, but it's certainly producing a lot of 3 stars at the moment. That said, I think it's got a future in a 2-star strategy, and I'll explain that through the video. So let's get into the raid. So they drop the queen. Queen starts clearing out buildings, only under 11 DPS here. They've dropped 4 healers on it. You may know that healers do half healing on heroes. So whereas each healer does 71 DPS of splash damage, on a hero it's only going to do 31 DPS of healing. So that means 4 healers are going to give effectively, 142 DPS of healing. But you can see along this side, the queen's generally not under that much damage, and you can see the queen holds itself with the 4 healers. So the queen sort of working its way through. We'll take out an AD because actually that's another thing to mention. This raid works much better with shallow ADs. In fact, I think that's almost essential in terms of making this raid work. But you can see that the queen was under 200 DPS for a little while there. That pulled its health down, but now it's only under 99 DPS. Its health is slowly creeping back up again. Now it's under 48 DPS. You can see its health is working its way back up again. So 99 DPS. You can see what they've done is they've popped the pocket here. The queen will come in, kill the archer tower, and this is important. I'll just pause here. So why is this queen? Another thing around this base that makes it open to 3-star, and we mentioned this on a previous raid, have a look at the allocation of DPS protecting the queen. Oh, so not DPS, of high hit point buildings. You've got your high hit point buildings here, here and here, and even your infernos and your bows are pretty high hit points, but you can see they're all one side of the queen. So the only high hit point building you've really got protecting your queen is your gold store here. Now your gold store will take 5 shots when the queen's not under cloak, but only 3 under cloak. and if you've got a max queen. So that means three shots on the cloak is at 2.25 seconds, which gives another 2.75 seconds to take out the queen, which is easily enough on the cloak. So what they've got to do is just take down the archer tower here, then basically cloak and take out the gold store, and you'll take out the queen without even getting a shot on the queen. So you know, that made it really, really open. That's a very, very unprotected queen right there. So you can see cloaks, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. Just 2 shots on the queen to kill that. You see, killed it very easily. And you can see what they've allowed here. This is cool, actually. They've allowed the CDC to come in, killed most of the troops around, and then let the queen sort of finish off the rest. And so the queen's actually survived the CC there. I reckon that was probably really hard, but that said, survived the CC. And now this is interesting, right? So they're just starting the loon drop here, right? Now we are, what's it, a minute 42 into the raid. But have a look at this from a 2-star strategy point of view on this base, right? So just with, all he's done is use some wall breakers, use the king to take out an AD here, use his queen to clear out a side, but the queen's almost at full health. So we're basically just using the king and 3 wall breakers. He's got to 41%. So how's that for a 2-star strategy on this base? Well, with this sort of base style, you could just do exactly that. Use the queen to clear out a side, drop a bunch of healers behind the queen. You might need more. You got to have a look at the DPS along the side. You might need more healers. And I know this type of strategy is very sensitive to the DPS along the side, because as you saw along this side, it was mostly 100 DPS, at some points 200 DPS, so that only required 4 healers. But if you had 200 DPS along the side with the occasional 300 DPS, you might need 7 healers or 8 healers. So you quickly start using up a lot of healers. But as for this strategy, you can just use the queen to clear out a side. Drop the king in a place where you can take out a whole lot of percent. You've opened up the town hall, and this person has they've used 48 troops here, 12 troops here, so that's 60 troops. You've got 275, so they've got 210 troops to take down the town hall with 4 spells, and that just shows you as a 2-star strategy this could be pretty interesting. And I could see people using variants of this where they add more healers to account for the higher DPS the queen might be under. But use the queen to clear out a side, and then you've got maybe 200 troops and a whole heap of spells to get the town hall. That looks like a pretty good 2-star strategy, and I think that's the future of this raid personally, because I think people are going to adjust to the 3-star issue pretty easily. So anyway, then 41% cleared out most of the side. You can see the queen is still working her way around, only under 80 DPS because of the bow, but at least it's drawing the fire from the bow. And then it's a fairly standard, Lavaloon raid. You've got, 4 spells. You're dropping the loons in the bunches. Freeze against the Inferno. Here's a lava. The loons straight behind. Dropping them at each of the defences. 2 or 3 at each defence, but often 2 these days. And you can see they're just working their way through the base pretty easily and taking things out. You can see the queen goes down to the skellies there, because the skellies, it's at 200 DPS. I think it was on 240 DPS. You can see work through the queen pretty quickly. Certainly when the king came in, it certainly did. And that's the raid structure. So look, basically that's a raid that's going to work where you've got an exposed queen, shallow ADs, and spread out perimeter defences. Now there are a lot of bases with that right now, so you're going to see it 3-star a bit, and we're seeing some wars where a third of bases are being 3-starred by that type of strategy. It's really easy to fix in terms of you can pull in your defences, you can look at your DPS on your perimeter, and you can centre up your queen, and that way you can still probably run shallow ADs. People will perhaps adapt to it and maybe just take out 2 ADs and then try the raid, but certainly the style you see there has probably got a limited shelf life in terms of 3 stars. That said, I think it's got real potential as a 2-star raid. You add on a bunch more healers, and you can easily see yourself clearing a side with the queen, grabbing some hit points from say the far side with the king, and then having maybe an army of 4 spells and 200 troops or 180 troops to take the town hall. So I think that's got a future as a 2-star raid, but at the moment it's getting 3 stars, and you can see the types of characteristics where that's useful. While people are running those types of bases, grab it while you can, because it probably won't last that long on the 3 stars, but as 2 stars I think there's a good style of raid there.